This is going to be a video for people new to Godot. They get so far into a big ass project like this one, and they're getting confused because you're getting into instancing, and then you want information from the two parents back of where you need to use like the tile map. For example, you have a tile map here. And under the tile map, you have, for example, the convoy spawner. And then the convoy spawner spawns the path 2D, which is instanced vehicles around the map. But to make it easy, like this area 2D holds all of the A-star code. In the A-star code, I need to get information from the TileMap node that it's running on. But you can't do that in an instance. I've tried signaling out. I've tried signaling in. Confusing as heck, and it's getting really difficult. Today, I found out the easiest way to do this, and the light bulb in my head exploded. I'm going to give you two examples. The first is using groups, and that's in case of the tile map. The second one is using get parent and where that's appropriate. So for the first one, our tile map Oregon here. Now this is important because it has to be, this is Godot 4.3 stable. The tile map is in a global group right here. Global group, just named tile map. Now, this is inherent on it being the first node in the group. I'm still trying to figure out how to get specific nodes out of groups, but that's not the point of this video. I want to use the TileMap methods way down here past the controller, where getTree only shows path 2D stuff, and then getParent ends up only at town convoy spawner, not all the way up here. I've tried get scene tree, I've tried get root, but this is the simplest way. And it, again, you have to have it as a global group, and it has to be the first node in the group. So if we go to path 2D, I've got a script here, which the only thing I'm using is cleanup, and that just queues the whole vehicle off the map. Now, area 2D is where I'm doing everything. So this collision shape is where I'm doing all my code, and that's just because I am. Now, if you go, so we pick area 2D, and if you go to signals, you'll notice down here, there's a tree entered signal. And this is currently connected to itself. And all the way down at the bottom of this script, let's get this big. TileMap, get tree, get first node in group, TileMap. Now TileMap, all the way at the beginning, is just the variable tile map, which is going to be a tile map. And for this test, I need a variable of rect2i to hold the size of that tile map. And that's, so there's tile map, get tree, first node in group, tile map. That gets the entire node, or a reference to the node, in this variable. And how can we put that to use? Well, let's see. I need to get, because the whole map can change depending on what happens on the map, I need to get the current size of the map. So that's here when I'm making the grid, because if the map changes, I have to remake the grid. So this is the place I put it. And this is the A-star make grid code. So A-star region, tile map, get used rec. Boom, you've got it now. The other code I was having to use was get tree call group TileMap get used rec, and then in TileMap script I had to make a specific function for this, which then you notice here I'd shove the result of that into a global variable and then grab the global variable in the instance. I don't have to do that anymore. Now all of this now turns into what you would do if you were referencing the tile map locally. Get use cells, I think that's by ID. Layer 0. Source ID is 0, and those are my water cells. Yeah, so I need to just take this, copy that, and we'll put it there, paste, and we'll get rid of all that. Whoops, Control Z, I wanted Control K. Really? Control Z. Oh, Shift K. Control Z. Control K. Yeah, I'm not much of a keyboard warrior. Use cells water equals tile map get use cells by ID. Oh, it's a variable because it's only of use in this area. There we go. Now, if I run the game, we will not get an error. I hope. And there we go. And so now I can't, like, this is pathfinding. I can't go here because this is considered a solid. So now I have to rewrite all of those codes where I was using this get tree call group, which I'll show you an example. Actually, let's see, TileMap. This is what I was using. Right here, like get use cells, and then I was calling the tree to get this, and it was weird shoving that into global variables, copying that. It's just not efficient at all. So let's go to remote and make this more clear. Remote, game root, TileMap Oregon. Okay, all these tire tracks, I'm glad it's not below this because they come and go based on a timer. So we are in town convoy spawner, and here's all of our path 2Ds that are these guys, not the player, our NPC, these guys. And then, so their parent is town convoy spawner here. It is not TileMap up here where we need to use get used rec, get used cells by ID. We want to use these locally instead of jumping around and doing other horse crap like this. Okay, that's this one. So we are on tree entered. We're making the variable. We're doing get tree, get first node in group, TileMap, making sure that TileMap, the one you want to access, is in a group that is global, and it's the first one in that group. Okay, the second thing is I was working on towns. And this is our, what is this? Yeah, I'm not that far yet. But essentially, this is a base layout of what I would like a town to sort of be in the game. So it took me 4 days to figure out canvas layers and making this work. And then in this town, I was going to spawn. I gotta pull this out to change it. In this town, I was going to spawn multiples of these and have them just wander around this town. Now, this is where getParent works, because when this is instanced, the sprite 2D thing, its parent is the tile map that they're meandering around. So in that case, in the sprite 2D, again, I'm using just the variable tile map, and this time I'm using a tile map layer, and that sets this variable up to be a tile map layer. Okay, this one's in the ready function. So when this town runs, it's in the ready function, and these are all kinds of crap I've been trying to figure out how to do this. It's very simple. TileMap equals getParent. So we'll go ahead and I'll do an F6 here, or an F9. We'll break here and do on this one I can do an F6. So we don't have to wait for the entire thing to run. This might work. Yeah, that one worked. All right. Now we're on a breakpoint. Okay, now on our breakpoint, if we go and we look at the TileMap variable, we're using getParent, remote TileMap layer. So our TileMap is now referencing this. And therefore, we can use TileMaps getUsedRec. Here I was trying to connect with signals to map size, TileMap size equals TileMap size equals TileMap getUsedRec, which was something that actually worked before. But in this, I just used getParent to get that. And if we do F11, we come down here and we have our actual TileMap size. So that's, in this case, we can use our getParent to get back to the node we need to use that node's methods. I hope this helps brand new people in getting past this mind-numbing use of signals and junk to do this kind of thing. Signals definitely have their place, but having to backtrack to a node to use methods that node supplies is gold and invaluable. I was about ready to give up Godot for this because I kept thinking back to Pascal. When you make an object in Pascal, in the object version, you can define global and private methods. Global is any object that uses that, any part of the program that uses that object is allowed to use global methods. And it's not allowed to use private methods. And it's boggling my mind why it wasn't so simple to do in Godot. In all the tutorials, never mentioned this. And so now we go ahead and just run the program. F12. And there's all of our little people. They're just running from random points to random points. Exactly what I wanted. Now, if we put all of this together, and we do an F5, you weren't working before. Why would you suddenly decide to work now? So it starts up a new game. Has to build everything. All right, cars are moving, so it's ready. Go debug, show town 1. And there it is. There's actually 37 stacked up on, oops, that didn't work. There's 37 stacked on top of each other, because this is the part of the code, now that I figured all this out, that I'm working on. Now, again, there's 37 copies of these with all independent people, well, people things, running around. And we're at 30 frames per second right now. However, okay, first, it was really, once I understood the two basic things this video is about, it made this thing a piece of cake to figure out and do. It's not hooked up right now, but if I hide all of these 37 quote-unquote towns, our frame rate will jump back up to 60, because only one town is going to be open at any particular time as invisible, and our frame rate will still be around 60, while all this AI, well, movement is going around behind the scenes. And for all of this to happen, it was imperative, absolutely imperative, to know the get group function, how that works, and the get parent, how that works. Otherwise, I'd still be banging my head against the wall. Everybody have a great day.